Hey y'all, so it's time for a braid refresh. So I've had these braids in since June 6th, so about 3 weeks, and y'all see the build up. My scalp acts a fool sometimes, and so I think too also the products create a buildup on my scalp sometimes. The products used for, the braiding. So watch my scalp go from this flaky, flared up mess to this. So y'all can see like the presence of flakes still there, like mild flakes. That's because some of them were embedded into the hair braided in. So it was difficult for me to get to those. And I also didn't want to ruin my braids completely fighting to get one flake out of my hair. But a huge drastic improvement after doing a complete braid refresh. So I will show y'all the steps that I took to stretch out my braids in this video. So of course the Dermoia products for dermatitis and everything. I've really found this brand online. Also, they have been seen, some products have been seen on Amazon. I've been using them for a while and they seem to really help my scalp out. I also like, that the shampoo doesn't have a harsh smell to it and that they are aloe vera based and are made with natural products. I really like that about the Dermoia brand. So just making sure I work the shampoo into the squares because of course it's going to be difficult to get in every spot because my hair is still braided up and it's not a significant amount of new growth for me to be able to really get into the depths of each individual braid. So really just making sure I do a sufficient enough refresh so that my scalp doesn't feel like how it started to feel, very itchy, very dry, but also very oily at the same time. Heavy product buildup, very heavy. I don't know. I'm not a heavy product girl. My scalp doesn't like it. My hair doesn't like it. But with braids, in order for them to look nice and last longer, you do have to use the edge control. You do have to use, the braid products that, leave the braids looking fresh. So I understand it, but sometimes my scalp doesn't always agree. So just going in with the shampoo, making sure to get into all of the squares with it. And then of course making sure I get my hairline, which is always a fight with the dermatitis flare-ups. So I'm just going in. A part of this video will also be ASMR. So this is the Dermoia charcoal and tea tree scalp serum. Now, this was $25 for this little bottle of serum. Luckily, it actually works. And I actually like the way that it has helped stretch my braids out and keeping me from having to do as many refreshes as I would need to do without the product. And because it's serum based, but it's not too thick, I am able to stretch the product out a bit, and it has helped and kept me from having to do as frequent shampoos as I would have to do if I didn't have this product. It also has helped, calm my hairline down when I would have a flare up. Even when I had a silk press, I was able to use this. And it really does help when you have those flare ups or dry spots that, you can't really address with shampoo at the moment. You can go in with this scalp serum. Now, I wish I got a little bit more for $25. But as long as the product works, I'll just have to be okay with that. So me just going in, making sure I work it into every spot just to make sure it does give a tingling effect. So, full transparency and warning. I don't know how my nail got stuck in this part of my hair. These are the bloopers and the clumsy experiences that I have that I tell y'all about, but that y'all probably don't necessarily believe. But seeing is believing. Okay? This stuff happens to me all the time. And so now I'm going in with the Dermoia aloe vera gel. I love this product. I love the consistency of it. I love how it feels on my scalp. They say you can also use it on your skin as well. I haven't tried it yet, but I love that it's lightweight. It's a gel-like consistency. So it doesn't leave my hair feeling heavy. It doesn't breed the heavy product buildup feel that normally happens when, you're using any oil based or gel based or, those thicker products. Now, the one thing I do hate is when the pumper stops working. And then you gotta, take the top off and, start smacking the product in your hand. But my braids are actually looking good. It's just, of course, the scalp buildup. So now I'm going in with the foam and just trying to make sure before I go in with any edge control that, I'm laying my hair down as much as I can without having to go in with the heavier edge control. And I might just do the perimeter if I plan on continuing to wear my hair in buns. I might just do the areas that can be seen or visible. There I go with the product all over the place. So I like this foam because it is fast drying, and I like that it is for braids and it is, more airy. So I like that, I like the hair that was used this time. Of course, I don't know the brand of hair that was used. It was already used when I was there. However, I did the curly pieces used. I got that off of Amazon. So if y'all want the link to the curly pieces, I'll, include that at some point. Minimal shedding and tangling, which is always a plus with braids, especially when you get the boho. And I like that I did the large because I feel like when it's time for me to take them out, it's going to take less time. And then also, I feel like they are easier to maintain when you are having, in my case, the dermatitis flare ups. It is easier to see the spots that are of the most concern. And my hair isn't as heavy with less braids. I'm just used to, or just really starting to get used to wearing individual braids because my hair is so thick. I had to wear crochet for a while because the braids were very heavy. But now with knotless braids, I do feel like I'm able to wear braids and not, feel like, my head about to fall off my shoulders because I got a little baby neck. You know what I'm saying? So just going in with the foam, making sure I work it into both sides. When it starts to tangle, I'm not sure of what to do. If y'all have any recommendations, should I comb it out? Should I brush it out? Y'all let me know. I did light boho at one point, but this is like the second time I've done boho with individual braids. The last time I did it, it was with crochet faux locks, and you know, it tangled, but with the faux locks, it wasn't as visible. You couldn't see that it was tangled. So with these, y'all let me know when they start to get tangled what to do. Should I comb them out? Should I brush them out? Should I cut the tangle? I don't know. So give me any recommendations because I'm new to the boho. So of course, it's always one lingering piece along my hairline that no matter how much scrubbing I did with a toothbrush, it just won't go away. So this is me just trying to see if when I lay my edges down, will the braid still look fresh and nice? And I'm seeing that with just the foam control that it would look nice once I really get the edge control popping and really get it, worked in and, you know, really get it popping with the edge control brush. So this is another scalp check to show y'all just the progression from start to finish, how down bad it was before versus now. My scalp looks so fresh and so clean. It feels a lot better, feels a lot cleaner. I went 3 weeks and it was a little bit too long, but depending on the type of hair and the scalp that you have, you might be able to go longer than 3 weeks without doing a braid refresh. So I do try to make sure I dry my braids sufficiently. So I'm going in with this method to get all of the hair under the terry cloth, fast dry, head wrap. So I use the claw clip to secure the braids, and then I'm going in, tucking this in, and voila, there you go. The braids are up underneath the terry cloth so that they can be dry enough tomorrow. There we go.